Cursed Lands. I'm your host, BGLP33, coming at you like Cleopatra. Hello again. We're in second full moon. Council's my honey. The council has raised their support to 100 gold a day. Make good use of it. Well, we won't, because there's no battles in the visual novel mode at all. So it's just me and a load of talking. Oh, no. Chorus. Lord. Cool, whatever. Going up loads of money now. Fucking swamp. The ducks. They're more PyTalk. That was real. I followed a map. As I approached the marked spots that are nearest to the edge of the forest, I quickly discovered the bramble that Varel spoke of. It's a dense cluster of thorns and vines, nearly twice as tall as I am. It's impossible to see over. I looked to the trees above, hoping to find a way to climb over the bramble, but I quickly realised that there are none to be found. The ground that the bramble covers is completely devoid of trees. It must have choked all of them out. This bramble is overtaking the forest. Around its base, the ground is dry and tepid, nothing like the rich and moist-giving soil that covers the rest of the forest. I hear a voice from behind her and turn to face it. Things have gotten worse, haven't they? Kusho, fancy seeing you here. I would say the same thing. I'm an elf of the forest. My presence here shouldn't be unexpected. You, on the other hand, what brings you back? It's like you said, things have gotten worse. This is troubling. The forest continues to decay, overrun by wood crashes, and now this bramble. Who would have thought a plant could be so fierce, and yet here it is. My personal mission hasn't advanced any since we last spoke either. Try as I might, my target continues to elude me. In fact, any trace of him seems to be gone. Months ago I'd hear rumours here and there of a lone druid, an elf wandering the forest. I couldn't catch him, but at least I could hear of his presence, but since we've last met, I've turned up no new leads. I can't help but think that Varel himself may be responsible for the bramble. There is a possibility that within the mass of thorns there is an elf drawing power from the forest and channeling it into this foul infestation. What if he's left the forest entirely? I suppose that is a possibility, but as I said, I've heard no new news of him lurking about either in the forest or outside of it. What if I told you that Varel had left the forest? Are you speaking hypothetically? Keep it a secret for now. I was just asking, what if? Well, if I did find out that Varel had left the forest, then it would make my attempt to hunt him down seem like quite the wild goose chase, wouldn't it? I suppose I would feel quite foolish. Part of me wishes that I could be more assured that Varel had nothing to do with this infestation. The more I see of it, the more I find myself doubting that it could be the work of a single individual. Until I discover what has become of Varel, I must suspect him. But if I can eliminate him as a suspect, I think it will help me get to the root of discovering what is blighting the forest. You see, Daniel, while I am an assassin, my killing is always goal-driven. I've entered Varel because I believe that doing so would earn Sam the Bright, and he is already guilty of numerous other crimes. It's documented in his practice foul magics. However, hunting Varel was merely a means to an end. My ultimate purpose is, and has always been, to preserve these forests. Unfortunately, as you can see, I seem to have failed in my mission. You have an obligation to these forests to protect her. Obligation, not formally, but I am an elf. Ground Tree is my home and heritage. I can't sit idly by while it continues to decay. Kusho, I need to be straight with you. The truth is, I know what happened to Varel. What exactly did you discover about Varel? He left this forest some time ago, around the time that I left. Mm. Say no more. I'm not so foolish as to assume the Burrow's departure coinciding with your arrival is a coincidence. Still, you say that Burrow's left the forest. He's been nowhere near here. Interesting, that confirms my suspicions then. My hope for Burrow was nothing more than a red herring. The true culprit must be some other manner of dark magic. When we first met, you told me there was a strange mist covering the Mar. Perhaps the two blights stem from the same source. Perhaps so. Something tells me that the way this blight spreads through the forest is deliberate. You see, this corruption covers the most remote corners of the forest. It seems to deliberately avoid the places where Elvish settlements lie. That is a small blessing. It means that there haven't been any elves displaced by the creeping corruption, even if the forest is dying around them. However, it has also left me in a frustrating position of having very little information to go on. The places where the corruption spreads are the least charted parts of the forest. I've tried to learn these parts of the woods, but it occurs to me that there is an elf who has spent most of his life precisely in the parts of the forest I knew the least about. After all, Varel lived his life avoiding other owls, just as the bramble seems to do. The irony of Varel's absence is that it would actually be a great help in my investigation if I could find him. What if I could find him? As I said, that would be a great help, but do you know where he is? I do, but I think he'd be reluctant to return to these woods. I understand from the sound things he left because he knew I was hunting him. But Daniel, if you're in contact with him, can you give him my assurance to receive no hostility from me? Quite the contrary, I'm willing to bury the hatchet, provided he's willing to assist in locating the source of the forest plague. I'll let him know that. If you find him, bring him back here, please. I need any potential lead I can get. Talk to Empire by show. Blah 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 blah. This old crap. No, fine. Money shop. Oh, Amazon Scissor. Took the carrier. I walked to the Scissor. It's certainly not the first time I've walked along this stretch of land, and I found myself noticing several admin sentries looking from a distance, several of them giving on to another stone to their walk. I'm not sure if there are more Amazon sentries out today than last time I came through here, or whether this is just the first time I'm seeing so many of them. It could be that in the past most of them just watched me from a concealed position, and now they don't bother to conceal themselves now that they know I'm not a threat. It does seem odd to see so many sentries though. The citizen is ever vigilant. I wonder if attackers ever come to their walls. It seems like they would take a crazy person to try and penetrate their defences. But again, it could be the reason that no one ever tries to attack them, is that they're so on guard. They avoid danger by making themselves a target. And now that I think about it, the Amazons probably control quite a bit of wealth. At the very least, they probably have a lot of weapons that are worth selling. Perhaps they have a right to be on their guard. I enter the citadel and head to Karen's chamber. Daniel, the returning hero. I think I like being called hero. Hero? I like that title. Among Amazons, the title is something you have to keep earning. Officers can lose their standing if they don't maintain their skills. If you want to keep being called a hero, then keep doing heroic acts. So it's a title I need to keep living up to. I hadn't planned on abandoning people in their time of need anyway. It's good to see that spirit in you. Thank you for rescuing the Amazons held prisoner in the dungeons of the Mar. Rescue the Amazons. You can inform me that several Amazons are being held prisoner inside the Mar. It could be a source of information I should try to free them. Karen seems to be in quite a good mood. I wish this was just a social visit, but I was bringing news from the council. And what would that news be? The council is expecting a vampire attack next month on a night of full moon. Yes, we had gathered as much from the Evansons who were taken prisoner at Namar. They're preparing to defend Grimmauld against that attack. a reasonable course of action. I'm still working on the council's behalf as a facilitator of sorts. Oh, this bloody noise. Is it some freaking earthquake or something? Given what you've accomplished so far, I don't think they could have picked anyone better for the job. Does this change our relationship? That's an interesting question, Daniel. Do you think it does? No. No, I don't think that things have changed. The mission's different. We're in fact-finding mode, and now Grimlore's leadership is preparing to defend against an attack. We're going up for war against the undead, but ultimately, our interests will still be aligned. Da, 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 da. I think so too, Daniel. As some leaders might selfishly choose to ignore the perils of the human empire, a threat to the humans could be easily turned into a threat against the Amazons. The creeping Mr. Andamar, what political invested in the situation, and now that we've confirmed that there are in fact sinister deeds afoot in Namar, I don't intend to rest until we stop the problem at the source. That being said, the situation between the Amazons and the human empire remains politically complicated. I won't be sending regiments from our Amazon warriors to defend your city gates. Why is that? Grimoire's leadership won't stand for any foreign power massing military forces at their border. It might look like an Amazon invasion. They don't want to be stabbed in the back. And so they refuse help when the city needs it most. I know, it's deeply frustrating. However, despite the obstinance of Grimoire's leadership, we are looking into the way to assist them, providing supplies and the like. That's very generous of you. Unfortunately, it won't amount to much. The Amazons are powerful, stronger than any city of the human empire. The sheer size of the human empire means that they can send them every weapon we have, and it still won't be enough for the battles they have to face. Even if we can only make a modest dent in their needs, there's at least something. Of course, I can teach by whatever moral support I can directly give you, Daniel. I'll give you what words of advice I can, and of course you'll continue to have right support of lead and battle. You might find if you succeeded from most of our talks with Grimoire's leadership. Due to the political expediency, there simply isn't enough time to make sure that you're included in every conversation. And I suspect that Grimoire's leadership also tries to keep details away from lower-ranking members of their own organisation. Members like me. Yes, even you, Mystery Grimoire. Who knows, perhaps if you continue to serve them loyally and faithfully, you may one day be more than just a missionary. You might be one giving orders instead of receiving them. I know that. It sounds like you have something to aspire to. Just make sure that the aspirations don't distract you from your current mission. You've already amassed quite a bit of influence. Just look who you're talking to. I mean, here I am conversing with the Amazon Queen a year ago. I don't think I would have imagined this life for myself, and yet here I am. Sorry, I don't mean to distract us from business. I believe I reported to all the essentials from Grimoire's meeting. Did you have anything you needed to convey to me? Sounds like you'll have your work cut out for you, Daniel. Seems like the people you've met and the bonds you've formed have allowed you to accomplish quite a lot in a short time. I trust that you'll continue to cultivate those relationships. I certainly will. Apart from that, I have 2 gifts to share with you. What sort of gifts? The first is a spear, not just a normal spear, one wielded by our great mothers. Great mothers? Past Amazon Queens. Of course, this wasn't their personal weapon, but one they used during training. I'm sure you may find it very useful in your quest. Robin, spirit, great mothers. Thank you, Queen Karen. What is the other gift? It's a tome of knowledge. And a bookworm. Tome of knowledge. Grant a single party, remember. 500 XP. To use it, go in Grimon, choose the option Tome of knowledge. That's quite the gift I must admit. I didn't come here expecting you to be so generous. First the spear and then the tome. This town has sat unused for a very, very long time, Daniel. I thought it might go 100 years unused. Amazons are generally well guarded and well with sound knowledge. Often Amazon learns with years of training. It's a small process. Excuse me. There's a reason that Amazon is very disciplined so highly. Power is something that comes with responsibility, and many choose to misuse it. Daniel, have you ever thought about why it is so few murders and thieves threaten their victims with it? Nearly every time you have someone threatening your life demanding that you empty your pocket of coin, they use a weapon rather than their fist to threaten. Well, I imagine the threat is much greater when you have a weapon. And yet there are so many with the strength to kill using only their hands. I know many such warriors using maim beyond recognition, using only their fists. Others have trained in martial arts for years to make their powers as deadly as any weapon. Just talking about the Disciples of Truth from Mount Kronos. Yes, that's a good example, but there are many more out. There are more around everyone. Why don't you suppose that any of these people, the ones with hands strong with skill, make their money by threatening victims in alleyways? Because I have a kind of medicine then? Yes, as paradoxical as it might seem, the people who are most personally skilled at the art of killing are often the least likely to misuse that power. You spend years of time training to become a strong fighter, it breeds in you a sort of discipline. Cowardly, those who might take their money by taking it from the weak. Don't survive the years of training that it takes. One who has dedicated their life to study knows how to wield that power responsibly. The dangerous ones, the ones who haven't earned their power. Any street ruffian can simply buy a life. Just like that, he has the power over any victim that he can corner in a dark alleyway. There's a reason that they choose to prey on the weak. Hence, when it comes to vitally important items like this tome of knowledge, I hesitate to give it out freedom. Really. I need to make sure to give them to someone who will at least use that power. You want me to use this on myself? No, but I trust you to give it to someone deserving, someone who will really know what to do with that power. Of course, anyone who has a moral orientation to dedicate themselves to a cause like fighting the vampires like Noir. It's always demonstrated a certain amount of selfishness. But when it comes to using that type of knowledge, my personal recommendation would be to do it to someone who has already demonstrated their prowess as a fighter. To allow the strong to become even stronger. In a sense, yes. All of your allies are assisting you in your travel schedule, but I'm sure that by now you find certain allies to be more helpful than others. It may be wise of you to consider who you're investing your time and resources in. Make sure that the people that you're taking the time to train and practice with are the ones who will be the most important to helping your mission succeed. That is my personal take on it anyway, but knowing what I know about you, whatever choice you make will probably turn out to be the right one, just so long as you trust your instinct. That's quite a compliment, Karen. I hope it turns out to be true. I hope so too, Daniel. I hope so too. Before you leave, I think there's someone who'd like to thank you. I turn around and look towards the store Queen Karen's chamber. I think I recognise that girl. Ba-ba-bum. Rosa, you can come forward. The girl takes several steps forward. She moves cautiously, but there's no timidity in her. It almost seems like she's moving in a defensive manner until she's not quite sure of how she should be acting around me. Hello, Rosa. Hello. Thank you for coming to rescue us. It was my pleasure. Was it really, though? I didn't expect her to even indulge a charity on that. You wish your own safety to free us. Most people wouldn't do such things for the pleasure of it. As I say, virtue is its own reward. Doing this for us is a gratifying thing, brother. I think it's a responsibility of the strong to help the weak. One day I'll be strong enough that no one needs to come to my rescue. I hope you're able to live up to that goal, Brother. Brother looks like she's not quite sure how to respond, so she gives me a nod. You're dismissed, Brother. It was good of you to come and give my visitor a prompt thank you. She's quite determined and ambitious for someone so young. She is, isn't she? Despite one ordeal of all to them, there's something in that girl that makes me think she's special. She seems to be brimming with potential. She's a lot to learn, but she's young. She has time to learn it. It's a bit surprising to see that attitude after experience at the castle. It must have been quite dramatic. Indeed, but I think it may ultimately be to her benefit. While I wouldn't wish harm upon someone so young, I do believe that encountering hardship at such an early age will give her determination to be stronger. If anything, the fact that she survived it seems to have given her a notion that she's made of strong stuff. It'll be interesting to see. Do you usually take such an interest in younger members of Citadel? I imagine there must be more children in this brother. I must admit that I initially took interest in both the simply through my own daughter. Princess Lauren is friends with Brother? Yes, Lauren and Brother somewhat similarly matched in terms of physical abilities given that they were similar ages, which makes them good sparring partners. I think Lauren appreciates having someone of her own height to practice against, and Brother seems to have taken a keen liking to Lauren. That being said, even if it were not for my own daughter, I think it's important to ensure that children are learning to be all they can be. One of my responsibilities as Queen is to ensure the welfare of the Amazons, not just in the immediate future, but in generations or more from now. 50 years from now, I and the warriors that serve directly under me will not but keep the Citadel safe. Whether the Amazons persevere will depend entirely on the generation that follows us. Girls like Brother and my own daughter Lauren, they will one day be responsible for this Citadel. I will always try to remain cognizant of that. But enough about my daughter. I know you're a busy person, I've already taken enough of your time. Let me know if I can be of service to you, but I think you already know what to do. Hello, Lena. I hope I didn't catch you at a busy moment. I'm always occupied, but I endeavour to be never busy. What does that mean? It means I'm constantly present, always ready to drop what I'm doing at a moment's notice. That's a warrior's instinct. You never know when crisis will strike. What if a crisis strikes when you're asleep? I sit with a dagger bound to my wrist, and if I'm awoken, I will nothing in my palm within a moment. Isn't that kind of dangerous, sleeping with a dagger? What if it slips and you stab yourself? I crafted myself a leather bracelet that allows me to keep my knife with as much more keeping the blade separate from my body. I have no worry of hurting myself, besides I don't roll in my sleep. How could you know that? After all, you're not really in a position to observe yourself while sleeping. My mother trained me. Is that an ordinary Amazon practice? Mothers training their daughters to sleep without moving? No, I was a special case. I expressed to my mother from a very early age that I wanted to be the greatest Amazon warrior. She told me that if I wanted to be the greatest, I had to be the most committed. She said that if I had what it took, I could start by proving it to her, so I began training from an early age. How do you train someone to sleep in a certain way? I mean, it's so hard to learn when you're not conscious. The body has ways of learning when the mind can't. My mother had me sleep on the floor and placed hot embers on the floor surrounding me. If I tossed or turned in my sleep, my body would flinch away from the stirring heat. That is cool. That sounds cool. Who would drown their own child burning cold? It was done with my consent. If I wanted to, I could have stopped at any time. I wanted to become the greatest warrior, so I accepted the challenge. How old were you at the time? I was in my 7th year when I learned to sleep without turning my costume. And to what end was this? What advantage came was sleeping perfectly rested? Well, for one thing, your posture affects your reactive time. I sleep with a blade, remember? That blade is much use to me if I caught lying on my side, or with all that weight on that arm. Whether there are some precarious sleeping places that could be dangerous for someone His sleep is not disciplined. Do you remember when we first met? When I was walking to Citadel, you caught me unawares from one of the town spires. Those spires can be a dangerous place to sleep for someone who tossed and turned in their slumber. You're one too many and you fall to the ground. I have very little chance of landing on your feet. Are you saying that you sleep on those spires? I did once, just to assure myself that I could. Truth be told, my ability to sleep anywhere isn't a talent I use very often, especially since becoming captain of the Royal Guard. I become more but for a permanent fixture here in the Citadel. It never hurts to have survival skills. I like to think of each survival skill as one tool that may one day save my life. You can never have too many of those, but you may one day find that you have too few. That makes sense. You know, I've developed a survival toolkit of my own over the years. Are we still talking about survival techniques, or are you saying that you have a literal survival toolkit? Well, both actually. There's a small pouch with essentials I take with me everywhere I go. What's in the pouch? Oh, not much to note. A bit of string for mending clothes in the pinch, some spliff for starting fires, some bandages in case I need a dressing room, a small knife, too small to use as a weapon, but sharp enough to cut through ropes and vines and prepare to find myself in a bind. Find yourself in a bind, eh? Is that something that happens often? It happened to me once and it was one time too many. I was caught unprepared and I thought to myself that I'd never make the same mistake again. I'm quite good at making mistakes actually. If my only talent is that I never make the same mistake twice, and the way I see it, the best way for me to lessen my vulnerabilities and improve as a person is to make as many mistakes as I can. Because there are certain mistakes you can only make once. For example, failing to raise your weapon to shunt a blade that's being swung at your head. That's what practice is for. It's true a steel blade swung on my head for facing punishment for failing to respond. But then if I have the same experience with a dull wooden blade in training, the worst I'll get is a bruise on my forehead. I suppose that's true, you never know. I never thought of it as such, but most of the purpose of combat training is actually failing. Failing to block blows that would be lethal if they came from a real weapon. Failing to win combat against sparring partners who could end your life if they were real foes. Each mistake you make is a lesson on how not to repeat the same mistake. Exactly. You have an interesting way of looking at things, Daniel. If you spend enough time in the Citadel, you may just learn the things. I may just learn a thing or two from you. I came here thinking of things that might be the other way around. You are captain of the Green Royal Guard after all. There's not something you can achieve without possessing a very high level attitude. I'm good at what I do, it's true. And I do pride myself on possessing a large array of unique skills. Because you seem like a much more well-travelled, much more worldly person than I. But what I'm saying is that you pique my curiosity, Daniel. I wonder if you're as interesting as you seem. Well, I hope I don't disappoint. Go back. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. What is with Daniel, when you return, are you ready to revisit the tomb? Are you ready for this? I'm ready. Are you prepared? Yes, as is Narara. I've been overwhelmed with excitement ever since Larry told me of your findings. If we're going to let's be quick about it. Ha! Though I assume, indeed as it's match as you can see. Though I too find myself brimming with curiosity. Let's go then. I hope you brought a few friends with you. The three of us might not be enough for the trial of the Tomb of Earth. Don't worry, I have. La la la. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. Continue. I will looking at it. We set out in the direction of the tomb as we walked to pass the time. Well, tell me what you're excited about. Oh, you said you've been overwhelmed with excitement for this investigation. What exactly has you excited? Erd's legendary weapons may be inside. I'd very much like to see them for myself. Is there a reason that your people have never ventured into the tomb to try and find the weapons? Legend is that Erd preserved his weapons for times of need. They're not something to be used wantonly. So what has changed? You say we're now in times of need? The creeping corrosion of what infested Erd's tomb still lurks in the lands of Avalorn. If we don't enter the source, it may return again. Besides, Baneslayer and Benediction were made for battling. Their weapons to use in battle, not some ancient treasure to be forever preserved in the ground. So, just how much do you believe from the tales of Baneslayer and Benediction?